Hello children, welcome to the class. Today we would be covering the second part of our chapter Resource and Development. In this we would be covering land resource, land utilization, land use pattern in India and land degradation and conservation. Let's start with the first topic, that is land resource. Now what do you understand by land resource? Land resource refers to land available for exploitation like agriculture, minerals, etc. However, it is an asset of finite magnitude. Now, what do you understand by this asset of finite magnitude? That means it is not infinite, it is not endless. It is of a finite magnitude. That means it is fixed. You can't expand land, you can't expand the earth. And so, all the resources that are available on land which could be exploited for the use of agriculture or minerals or anything else is called as land resource. So we know land is a resource that we exploit for different purposes. Now let's understand the importance of land resource. Humans not only live but also perform all economic activities on land. 95% of our basic needs and requirements like food, clothing and shelter are all obtained from land. So that means it fulfills our basic requirements. Land supports growth of natural vegetation and wildlife. So that is flora and fauna. The land is a source of natural minerals. So we find minerals from inside the earth. And it is also used for communication and transport. So we understand that land is a very important resource for human beings. As we understand land as a resource, let's now understand the kind of distribution of land we have in India. India has land mainly under a variety of landforms, which are mountains, plateaus and plains. Now what percentage do all three of them have? 43% of plains, 30% of mountains and 27% of plateaus. And what do we get from them? The mountains ensure perennial flow of rivers. They provide tourism facility and maintain ecological balance. The plateaus, they possess rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. And plains, they are ideal for practicing agriculture and industry. So the three landforms fulfill the purposes that we have just done under these headings. Now, after understanding land as a resource, let's understand how do we utilize the land. Now, land utilization is commonly defined as a series of operations on land. So that means the things that we keep doing on land, we means the humans. So what do we do or how do we use the land? We use the land in the form of forests, agriculture, pasture land, uncultivated land, and so on. So we use the land for different purposes and utilize it in different ways. As the land is used for different purposes, let's understand the purpose of land utilization. Land is utilized for the purpose of forests to provide forest cover on earth. Barren land, which is not available for cultivation, is utilized for the purpose of housing, infrastructure and industry. Land is utilized extensively for agriculture, floriculture and orchards, etc. Land is utilized for the purpose of permanent pastures and grazing. And land is also utilized for the purpose of mining. After, after understanding the land utilization, let's understand the different patterns that you find in India, and they come under different category. And here on your screen you see two pie charts in which we have a comparison of 1960-61 and then 2014-15, and which are the categories or which are the headings under which we see the comparison. Under forest, barren and unculturable wasteland, area under non-agricultural use, permanent pastures, area under miscellaneous tree cropping and groves, cultivable land, fallow and other current land, and net zone area. And now we will see the comparison as to how, which are the things or which are the areas which have maybe grown or which have maybe reduced. While comparing the two pie charts, we come to a conclusion that the area under forest is around 23%. The NSA varies from state to state. The area of the forest cover or other things would vary from one place to another or one state to another. Area under barren land has reduced significantly from 18.1% to 5.5%. That means more barren land has been brought to use. The land under permanent pastures has also decreased, so that means again permanent pastures have reduced and that land must have been brought under some other use. Area under non-agricultural use has increased to 8.7% from 4.95%. So this is what we deduce from the comparison of the two pie charts that you saw in the previous slide. Now so far we understood land as a resource, the utilization of land, and the pattern that we have in our country. So now when we are utilizing our land, we also see degradation taking place. And if there is degradation, it is important to conserve. So let's understand land degradation and conservation. What is the meaning of land degradation? Land degradation generally signifies the temporary or permanent decline in the productive capacity of the land. So if we are using land for some kind of production and the productivity reduces, so that is where we say it is land degradation. Land degradation can be in terms of both quantity and quality, like for example deforestation, mining, overgrazing, and so on. All these things contribute to land degradation either in the form of quantity or in the form of quality. And you see in the pictures here on your screen how land has been degraded in quantity or in quality. Deforestation taking place, no care of the land, dry land. So this is all not productive. So that means this is degradation of the land taking place. Now, when we have talked of land utilization, it would also be leading to land degradation somewhere. So we come to know that around 130 million hectares of land is degraded in India, out of which 56% of it is degraded by water, maybe some alkaline and saline discharge through water on the land. Another factor that contributes to the degradation of land is deforestation, and deforestation done for the purpose of mining. And you see this in the states of Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. Then, other than deforestation, mining, we also have grazing as another factor, which you get to see in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh, which is a major reason for the degradation of land in these areas. And then in Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh, it is because of over irrigation that the land is degraded. That means too much of use of fertilizers and too much of sucking of the nutrients from the land. If there is land degradation, we can work on land conservation, and we can do it in different ways. We can have shelter beds, which will help in holding the soil and avoid soil erosion. We can manage our grazing lands better. We can do more of afforestation, plant more trees. Then we can keep a check on the mining and see that we do not overexploit our minerals. And then last but not the least, before discharging the alkaline and saline effluents into the land, we can treat them so that the land is not degraded. So I hope by the end of this part, you would have understood the use of land as a resource. In this part, we covered land as a resource, and now in the last part of this chapter, we would be covering soil as a resource. Take care.